In the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, a lost province, maybe not as lost as it once was. From Watauga County's founding 175 years ago to the pageantry of a football Saturday, Boone and the surrounding high country, a community that personifies the feeling of home. The town of Boone received its charter from the state of North Carolina in 1872. What started as a row of houses soon became the center of commerce for northwestern North Carolina. Back then, success smelled like sawdust. The land helped build a community. The town continued to grow through the early 1900s, and in 1920, a group of businessmen met in the parlor of the Critcher Hotel to organize a group to promote the best interests of the town and put Boone on the map. The Boone Commercial Club was born in the fall of that year. Members of Boone Commercial Club voted to rebrand the organization to the Boone Chamber of Commerce in 1923. For the next 26 years, business leaders worked to market the area to vacationers, work on post-war projects like water access and roads connecting Boone to places like Linville. The similarities to initiatives of today strike a familiar chord. In 1947, Chamber members voted to support school lunchrooms for the remainder of the year after federal money had been withdrawn. One of those voting members was Wade Brown, a local attorney who used his professional skill to help organize a growing community. Decades later, the Wade Brown Award for Community Involvement was established by the Chamber to recognize significant contributions through community engagement. This year's recipient, just like the award's namesake, is making an impact in Watauga County by working to eliminate financial burden in lunchrooms across the area. Blue Ridge Realty and Investments helps us present this year's Wade Brown Award for Community Involvement to a business who defines local as a core value. Comeback Shack.
We decided that we were going to break away from a brand and do our own thing. What we knew is that we wanted it to be local-centric, right? In any way and every way that we could. And we've just ridden that, through the years since we opened Comeback Shack in 2011. Students that go to the different schools in Watauga County that can't afford their breakfast or their lunch. We saw that program and we thought, wow, what a tremendous need. We're all about food. We are blessed and we have a wonderful business. What a great opportunity. If the school system is interested in partnering with us on that, we can take our love for food and feeding the community and channel it into this need in the community to take care of that debt across the different schools in the school system. And so we approached them, said we have this idea, we're going to call it Give Back Shack, and we're going to take 3 days throughout the year, and basically all the proceeds will go to giving a check to Watauga County Schools to retire that debt. In the 1 year between the 3 nights, we raised over $10,000. So our goal in the future is to keep doing it until we actually pay off the entire amount. It's just a great way, Give Back Shack, for us to give back to a community that's given so much to us. Those are the kind of things that we love partnering with, knowing that, okay, what we're going to do generates and stays within our county footprint. That's where it's most meaningful to us. There's just no place I'd rather be.
Wade Brown, Stanley Harris, and Clyde Green signed the Articles of Incorporation for the Boone Chamber of Commerce in October of 1949, creating a community chest type of organization to formalize strategies involving the growing business community. In the early 1950s, tourism, as we know it today, began to take shape. In June of 1952, the Horn in the West outdoor drama was staged for the first time and is still going strong today. The Chamber took a stance in 1955, opposing a toll on the Blue Ridge Parkway. One of the early tourism attractions brought curious guests to the area beginning in 1948. The town of Boone presents the Sue W. Wilmoth Award for the advancement of tourism to one of the founders of the industry in our area. Mystery Hill.
We are iconic roadside America from the turn of the century. This is our 76th anniversary. So people have been coming here, people have been bringing their kids and their grandkids and returning. So it's a tradition to come do it. we've added lots of activities and attractions, axe throwing and gem mining and old time photos and all that. But at the core, we're still that quirky little roadside experience that we've always been. And we try to keep that authentic. It's worked for us.
We get so many people at all ages. My grandparents, I remember coming here with my grandparents and I wanted to bring my children here. We get that a lot. So I think there's just a lot of great memories for people of all ages and generations.
If you think about the attractions up here, Grandfather Mountain and Tweetsie and the Blowing Rock and Mystery Hill and Linville Caverns and Horn of the West, those are all very unique type things. So it's a great place to come and visit. People love to show future generations and friends things they've experienced in the past. So a lot of what makes tourism work is people coming back over and over to say, I went here when I was a kid, you're gonna love this place.
We're just really glad and happy and proud that we can be a part of that for families.
The Chamber continued its role as an economic spark plug through the 1960s. The organization was a lead advocate for the construction of Highway 321. It was around the same time that the Chamber first heard a report about a proposed bypass of Highway 421 in Boone, the Daniel Boone Parkway project, still discussed today, some 56 years later. The 1960s and 70s also highlighted the philanthropic spirit of the area. Appalachian State Teachers College was a lead voice in that activity, even helping host the Chamber's annual luncheon each year, and Chancellor Plemons personally helped find a physical home for the organization. That mantle of service would be carried on years later by Ben Tuttle, a connected member of the community and former Boone Town Council member. Appalachian State University helps us present this year's Ben Tuttle Special Services Award to a gentleman whose voice has helped change the fortunes and fuel the missions of numerous local nonprofits. Jesse Miller.
I do a dozen or so of these a year, and every crowd is very different. If people are doing this, and I don't know what they're clapping for, but they start clapping, that's when you got them. And my dad's an auctioneer. When I was 16, I went and got a certification to become an auctioneer. Never had any intention of doing it for a career, still don't, obviously. But when we moved here, there was an organization that was putting on a fundraiser, and they were doing an auction, never had done one. The organizer said, hey, Jesse knows how to do that. And we raised like $2,200. And then I got 5 calls to do 5 more that year. And it just kind of kicked it off. If you got something that can help people, you gotta do it. What I do for a living is selling insurance. Almost all of my clients are intertwined in these same nonprofits that we raise money for. And that's what's pretty cool about it. I can't pick out a client of mine that isn't also involved in multiple of the nonprofits that I help raise money for. To me, that's indicative that the community itself is just, it's all intertwined. The businesses want to give back to the community. The nonprofits wants to serve the community. And the ones that I work for, there's no two that are alike. So they're all doing a really good job of handling their mission. The folks that work in these nonprofits, it is really hard work. They've got to raise a lot of money, and it is not easy to ask people for money. And if I can help them get more money in an easier way, that just makes their life much easier. So the auction, it's all about creating the competitive space. You got to make everybody feel like they're all in it together to hit one common goal, and then hopefully you're fun enough.
The 1980s saw industry growing in Boone, thanks to people like Wade Wilmoth, who established the Northwestern North Carolina Development Association and used that platform to create jobs throughout the region. With increasing pressure to fill out a skilled workforce, the Chamber passed a resolution in June of 1985, advocating for the creation of a permanent facility here in Watauga County for Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute, celebrating 60 years as a workforce hub in the Northwest region, including 37 years serving students in Watauga County. This year's Alfred Adams Award for Economic Development is presented by Fosco Companies and Achota to a true economic catalyst here in the High Country. Caldwell Community College and Technical Institute.
When I think about the Watauga campus, I think it has arguably the best view of any community college in the state of North Carolina. One of the great things about community colleges is we're nimble, we can adapt, and we can react quickly. And as business changes, we too must change. We must change what we're offering to make sure that we are aligning our programs with what the market demands. I think our recipe for success since 1964 has been to focus on student success. We're here to make life better for the people we serve, and we want people to be better positioned when they leave us than when they came to us. We always say partnerships matter, relationships matter. Thanks to the Chamber and the EDC, we've been able to create what we now call a business liaison position that is housed at the Boone Area Chamber of Commerce, right beside the EDC office. So if someone is coming to the High Country looking for opportunities either to start a new business or to get involved in a business opportunity here in the High Country, they have everything in kind of a one-stop shop. The High Country is a mecca of opportunity. Not only is it hospitality and tourism, but the environment here is rich. People here are tremendous to work with, and we have a great opportunity to be able to provide a better future and prepare a world-class workforce for Watauga County.
Alfred Adams, Wade Brown, H.W. Horton, Clyde Green, Sue and Wade Wilmot. These are among the most active Chamber influencers when it comes to creating the partnerships that have helped shape the business community as we know it today. These alliances helped the Chamber take on an active role in economic development back in the 1980s and 1990s, a role the organization resumed just last year. Working as a board member and chair in the late 1990s, Dan Meyer would later serve 12 years as Chamber president and carried forward the organization's ability to convene the conversations that would shape the community. The Dan Meyer Partnership Award was created in 2016 and is presented by Life Store Bank to a gentleman who has followed a similar path just down the road in Blowing Rock, Charles Harden.
So we're located in downtown Blowing Rock, right across from Town Hall and adjacent to the Memorial Park. I think a chamber is a convener for a community. It is the binding glue for this town and all of the things that we do. There's always been this historical sort of divide between Boone and Blowing Rock. Everybody looks at Blowing Rock as being, over here and kind of independent and maybe not even part of Watauga County. So I've enjoyed what I would call narrowing that 7-mile divide a little bit and getting people to work together more. We are starting to see here some of the old business owners that have been here for a long time are starting to phase out. In comes the younger generation. I think that's very exciting to see those transfers. We're seeing new leadership all over the county that way.
As Watauga County moved into the 2000s, environmental awareness was on the uptick. The notion of protecting the beauty and resources that make the place became top of mind. The creation of opportunities for outdoor adventure have blossomed since the turn of the century. Features like the Middle Fork Greenway, Rocky Knob Bike Park, and local river access points have helped give locals and visitors a place to play. Businesses like Appalachian Mountain Brewery, VPC Builders, and Apple Cart have established practices within their business that highlight sustainability. The Evergreen Award for Sustainability was established in 2010. Mast General Store presents this year's winner, one that takes keeping our resources clean to a whole new level. River Girl.
I believe the river helps to reboot your system and heal your soul. It is our responsibility to try to help take care of the resource because we're using the resource. So the idea for Trashy Tuesdays came about because I was going out and floating down the river and I was spending all my time picking up garbage. And what my grandmother told me, work smarter and not harder. So how can I get other folks to do this? And my thing was you get a free kayak, but you pick up trash. You get the potential of getting a free fly fishing lesson and cool swag. Also, you get to meet other community members that are in touch with cleaning the river. And so you might find someone that you can go kayaking with on other days and find a river buddy.
Before the Chamber settled downtown in the early 1990s, the organization spent time on Blowing Rock Road with High Country host inside the Visitors Information Center during a time when tourism was blossoming. Tweetsie Railroad, Grandfather Mountain, and the North Carolina ski industry were among the anchors for thousands of families to ascend to Watauga County each year. With the High Country's climate providing escape or intrigue for families across the Southeast, the idea of a year-round resort concept started to gain traction. Beach Mountain Resort has transformed its business model over the last decade plus with expanded dining, bike parks, and breweries, concerts and coffee shops complementing its popular winter offerings, while also providing new opportunities to better the surrounding community. UNC Health, Appalachian, and Blue Ridge Energy present this year's Baker Jones Woman of the Year Award to the principal architect of today's Beach Mountain experience, Talia Freeman.
I think when I started at Beach Mountain Resort, I was young, excited, and a little bit lost, on what I wanted to do. Now I'm more driven, I'm confident, I'm empowered, and feel like I'm exactly where I am supposed to be. There's really something for everyone here. Our community partnerships and everything we're doing in this area has really created a destination for people to come and feel like they're a part of something. They feel like they're a part of the culture here, a part of a bigger family. That's a really good feeling. There's times for everybody in their career where you feel like you're at a crossroads or you feel like you're lacking purpose. I've always had the motto, if you are looking for purpose, you give back. And that gives me purpose. So it's been a really incredible thing to be a part of a company that focuses a lot on giving back to our community. So doing things like Runs for Buns and supporting the Colon Cancer Coalition, not only fulfilling for me and gives me purpose, but it also has been really incredible watching our staff come together on this cause, our community, our season pass holders. It's, a really purposeful cause, and it feels good that we've created a culture of giving back.
The High Country has experienced more than a few defining moments over the last 20 years. Monumental upsets that put Boone in the worldwide spotlight. Presidential strolls down King Street. Reclamation of community treasures of the past. Investment in the next century of Appalachian State's ties to the region. No matter what draws outward attention, it's the genuine sense of community that helps Boone and Watauga County stay focused on who we are and how we help in a way that highlights a key attribute of the Appalachia culture. We take care of our own. The Chamber jumped into a supportive role during the COVID pandemic, using Keep Boone Healthy to keep the community informed and businesses open. Since then, our partnership with App Healthcare and other nonprofit support businesses has been further solidified. The Elizabeth Young Award for Community Leadership is presented by High Street Insurance and Financial Services, and this year we recognize a true coalition builder, fostering community through empathy. Lindsay Sullivan.
The thing about community work is it's really easy to go with the anecdotes that you hear or to make assumptions based on the limited viewpoint you have working out in the community. I've got a quote up in my office that says something to the effect of, if you are focused on your dream of community, you will bring the community harm. But if you're focused on the community as it is, you will grow the community. So that's something that's really important to me. We're really trying to look at how do we bring resources to the workplace. And that's something that's personal for me. I had been in the service industry up until my time in public health. My husband works in the service industry. My first panic attack was out by a dumpster behind my first restaurant job. And so, just thinking about what if, my coworker or my employer could have supported me during that time, what that could look like, and seeing the opportunity there for other folks in our community to be able to access resources that they're not knowledgeable of. I've heard partners say to me, many people haven't stuck it out when things got hard, and you are. And so to hear that from community members means so much, and it really validates sticking with the work, even when it's difficult, even when we're talking about complex, wicked problems like housing. If you're sticking with it, residents see that, community members see that, and that's how you build trust with them, is showing that you're going to keep showing up even when it's difficult.
75 years after the official formation of an organization chartered to promote cooperation in all matters important to the Boone community, it's fitting to end our story just steps away from the very place the Chamber was founded. For this is a tale that could describe so many that have visited here, dreamt of a life here, and have succeeded in contributing to a sense of place with a genuine desire to connect and serve others in this special community. Our final honor of the evening is the Kathy Crutchfield Citizen of the Year Award, presented by Beach Mountain Resort, and goes to an entrepreneur who has connected the feeling of family to the High Country's culinary experience. Tina Houston.
I had grown up part-time in California, and I thought Post-college, I would go back to California, and Boone was the closest thing to California for me. It was a little liberal, it was a little weird, and I landed here in 1993 and never really left. It still feels like the most energetic place in the mountains to me. I do treat my company as a vehicle to do good work. It's not just about a bottom line. It's not just about cooking. It's about my coworkers. It's about our vendors. It's about our families. It's about the people in our community. I don't want to get emotional, but it matters, you know, because we see each other over and over. And that has to be a good experience on every level. I genuinely love taking care of people. And to me, food takes care of people. You know, you can't do this job without a sense of humor. You can't. It would be dismal. It would be boring. And there's 4 guiding principles that we make decisions on at Reed's, and they're fun, respect, innovation, and community. And if we're making decisions and we're not bouncing back to those ideals, then we need to rethink it. We're working with the Mast General Store, and I'm putting a little cafe in Valley Crucis in the spring. It will open in April. That's next. And we may take Betty's a little farther and wider.
Ladies and gentlemen, to help us celebrate 75 years of serving the High Country community, please welcome our 2024 Community Award winners, each of whom personify the spirit of Boone.